Hi, this is Bernie here with Connections Consulting. How are you doing here on Saturday morning on May the 2nd? My favorite month, the month of May, just like my last name, M-A-Y. It's great. You'd be surprised how many people have asked me through my life, how do you spell that when I say my last name is May? Bernie May, talking to somebody on the phone, a customer service rep or so forth. Well, how do you spell that? Well, just like the calendar month, M-A-Y. But anyways, things can be confusing in an uncertain world. People have said, well, oh, I thought maybe it was M-A-E or M-A. Well, M-A would be Ma. Hi, Ma, by the way. Visited my mother yesterday. And those are three things I miss, actually. Watching NHL hockey with my mom during COVID times and going to bars and churches, like the good song by Aaron, what's his last name? I'm sorry. Aaron Goodrich. Anyways, I'll play it later on my timeline on Facebook, but on my training vault. So we're here talking about customer service today, and I am a customer service trainer, a customer service professional. And one of my favorite restaurants is A&W, and I talk to, and I come here 2 to 3 times a week. They have a good wholesome breakfast, and you need that. And I talk to Margaret, the manager here, once in a while, and she's very good. I even offered her a couple of years ago, because she does treats her staff well, and they're all very professional in the etiquette of what they do and treat the customers well. And I even told Margaret a couple of years ago, I said, Margaret, if you ever want to, as my business grows, I'm a customer service trainer, and I'm going to need people at times to add, to do training stints. If you ever feel you want a part-time job on the side to go do the odd weekend little expo here and there, where you meet in a hotel room with a group of people and do a talk on customer service profession, I would like that if you ever want that, to consider that. And there's other people I've identified right here in my community in Strathmore, Alberta, Greater Calgary, in the southern Alberta window. And as well, I know people around the world that would fit well. The Customer Service Expo is the title of this video. And I use the word expo because that's the end. That's going to the end. The expo. All the way out to the west coast, supposedly, in time here. And we're heading west in life. I'm in my maturity years. Like in terms of, I went through the stages of child, youth, adult, and now maturity is when people teach. And here I am passing on the knowledge of customer service. I've devoted my life to establishing and equating good customer service, I suppose, in professional business. And that's how I've built businesses for other people and built mine so far to date, based on that foundation of good, ethical customer service. And if you ever spit in the drink of anybody in a drive-through window, shame on you. You can go to hell right now. I mean it. If you've ever done something like that, there is very poor, shameful things that go on, and I know it's happening. And so I'm just saying it. This place, I'm equating it to how they handle you and treat you. Well, you can get a bad egg in the crop somewhere, and that's no good. So don't do that. Be very good at what you do and treat people wisely. You never know who's going to show up with a gun at the window, right? We live in uneconomical times. People want money. They resort to robbery. They can't get money out of the government sometimes, like me, and I'll mention that to Justin Trudeau right now, actually. I'm in a loop with you on this COVID emergency benefit, and I'm getting very frustrated, and I'm going to call you next week on Monday, and I'm going to talk to you in your house where you come out to that podium every day, because when I phone in and I get a voice recording and that's all I get, and it just gives me some basic information and not enough to answer my question, that I heard on CTV News, Kelly Keehan, that financial planner, said one of her clients, right when they opened it up in those first 4 days, the $2,000 emergency benefit, and was asked some questions, and one of them was your income over 5,000 in 2019, and was it over 15,000 in 2018? Well, I'm self-employed and building my business, and my income didn't equate to 2019, but it does to 2018. But I can't find out on your website anywhere, any of your forms. So I emailed you the emergency benefit, Canada Emergency Relief Benefit, with all my specific questions, and I told them I can't find the answer to that one, and I will qualify if she gave accurate information on it, and she was back on again this month the second time. If that was accurate, I will qualify. But I can't answer the form properly as it prompts me to get the money. So I have no money, Justin. I have no money. I'm a fifth generation Canadian, okay? Not some guy that moved here from Serbia a month ago, doesn't even have my status yet. My family is a long line here. And you're making me broke, okay? So 250 billion is the deficit at this point. And I want my money. And they send me back an email response after I explained I couldn't get the answers I needed. And they told me to refer to the website. So if that's how you're treating people, Justin, and you're equating your customer service to this economy of Canada, well, get ready for the next vote, because you're a minority government and it's been over 6 months in the election. And you might as well think about buying a Burger King or something and getting ready to manage a fast food joint if this is all you're going to do. Anybody that plans to join me in my life, in my business, as I expand it, will equate customer service as a foundational ethic in any kind of partnership form with me, because this is the base of the foundation I've built on my double through the years of my career. And you're going to see a video next of my little drive-through experience here at the speaker, okay? And I won't go to the terms of showing the video of the people yet, because we know how it is. Like, we want our privacy, yet we go home on Facebook and get in our panties and our stockings and show ourselves off publicly. Nobody can see our face in business, you know. So I'll get permission and a waiver, because that's a good old-fashioned ethical thing to do. But I'm going to show you the voiceover and show you how well I was treated. Because I, as a human, am dignified and want to be treated well in a way that ethical is good. And when I've been handed a stove full of crap, I've said, you know, I'm not going to take it. And I want other people to do this too. If you're coming to my courses, you're paying for it. I'm going to teach you. I'm going to hand you your ass, like I said on that other video, if you're treating people like an ass. But you're going to pay. There's places like McDonald's and stuff I don't go to anymore, because they can't even talk to you without yelling at you through the speaker. You'll see how these guys treat you. It's very calm, and they're under my covering here, right? I pray for these people, and I know they want good customer service because they treat everybody the same. It's ethical. I'm sure they probably pray for their customers in their own little private lives. They've learned a window of life on my timeline, but they're getting good customer service response here. People come in, they're calm, and everybody's treated the same. And even if you miss a napkin here and there, they apologize to you. You go back, and it's not a perfect world. People make mistakes. But what's your heart intention like? That's what matters. Do you really care? Or are you going to, you know, screw people around, eh? And this isn't a place to be a dweeb in this fashion we live in nowadays in this economy. People get up in arms and you don't know who's going to lose it and just blow. And that's it. And so if you treat people well, you're going to get a good response all the time. So I go through this window here, and I've built my life on this. And this is my end time result and my end time resolve here. The rest of my life till the day I die, probably in my mid-80s, I hope, you know, later, well, we'll see, but it ain't going to be earlier. And, you know, in my Christian ethic, in my personal belief, in my Good Samaritan pro-wise ethics of ancient history and dwelling into modern day innovation, how I promote that and dwell in that and give that belief on to other people in the Good Samaritan pro non-profit side, body, mind, and spirit ethic leadership of all that, I suppose I tell people he may return sooner, but I'm going to live till at least my 80s. I'm planning on it. So my life is devoted to this customer service training for the rest of my life, I suppose. So you go through that window. First you talk in the speaker, right? You know, you've been through a drive-through. They know the no here, okay? I'm going to teach you that at your course when you come to it and take my profession. And you're not stealing my stuff. I see the copycats out there, some good old friends that have disposed of me at times when it didn't work out well for them, said, well, I don't know who you are anymore. And I won't even say your name. You know who you are. Good friend of mine, and used to work for me, I suppose. Well, I don't even know who you are anymore. Well, maybe you didn't take time to listen. And if somebody, and then there's other people, they're trying to, get up to me, but yet you won't return a phone call? Come on. Quit promoting yourself to me. Just talk to me. It's an easy world if you get along with people and you be kind. So I go through that window, okay? They talk to you at the speaker. The no. The no. They know their stuff, okay? They know what questions to ask. They know their product types. There's not some little quabble or hassle you're always having because of an ethnic dispute where people are yelling at you and you don't understand each other in a common language. They try to find commonality with you. Then they talk to you plainly and give you service, okay? And do they take the ease out of it? No, they put the ease into it. They don't know a notion of anything but that. Then you go around the corner, and I won't show the window until I get proper permission from Margaret, because I don't want to disqual anybody in these times and put them in an oddity. They might feel they're famous in their profession and they don't want all the attention, and I like that too, okay? It's a quiet life and you want it that way, right? So the no, then the do, okay? So you take off around the corner and the do is there because they greet you with the next step. Okay, come on up to the window and your total will be this. Well, how many times have you went through somewhere, Tim Hortons or other or wherever, and people don't tell you the total, they don't ask you to come to the window, and then they don't give you the receipt, so you tap and run. Well, how do you even know what you paid? And you don't get a napkin unless you ask. Well, here it's uncommon. You get a napkin every time unless they miss it in all their little steps, right? Because there are several steps. They ask you, do you want anything with that? Peanut butter and jam, all that, all the good stuff, salt and pepper. But sometimes people miss. And that's okay. People make mistakes. But if your intention and your heart is to do the right thing, it's okay. People are forgiving. And you just go back and you make it up. But when people are trying to mess you over and they don't even give you the proper accommodations, well, you know what? You're going to lose business because I'm promoting the places where they treat you well. And the problem is the lineups get longer, but whatever. I'd rather have a little extra weight than someone treat me like a mess everywhere, and it's just a big fight and a contentious argument. You're not even going to see me. I might give you a chance once or twice a year to see if you've broken out of the cycle before I talk to your VP of sales and marketing or your CEO to get you in one of my courses, because you need to learn. And yes, young people in training sometimes they don't know any better, but they get trained, right? So you kind of overlook that. But if they don't care, even if you're young and you haven't and your quality home life is good or what? Well, maybe not. You learn in the workplace. If you don't come in with the right hard attitude, you're going to get smacked on by a customer because your boss ain't seeing it all the time. And you clean off those tables, right? They got the old ladies here and the young people and then the midstream people that are working. This is their job. Well, once in a while, you miss. But if you got the right attitude, people lean into a forgiving side. It's okay. And sometimes younger people want a bit of attention too because it's their first job and they've never been out with the public. And I get all that, okay? I'm older. I've been through life, every step of it, all along the way. I've learned it and I've lived it. And even if the times were different and we didn't have the internet when I was a kid, whatever. It's about you're a human. Your heart is there and you're a human. And if you don't have an opinion, quit sharing it on Facebook and stuff. If you got nothing to say, you're just blabbing. Have an opinion or get off of there. Tell somebody something that means something and makes a difference. I appreciate you people that do. I look at it and I say, yeah, that person, they got something to say. That person's got something good to say. Or just even sharing about your life. Because really, you don't want an argument. When you're just friends with people, you just want to share. But if you don't have an opinion, quit talking like you're an expert, trying to copycat somebody else. I'm not going to let you do it to me. My stuff is trademarked, okay? And I decree myself to every flavor of life, and I always have, ethnic, race, or creed. But I'll tell you what, if you're a racist against white people, and I'm going to talk to you next week about this, Justin, why I'm not getting my money, is it because I'm a white, hetero, Judeo-Christian, fifth-generation Canadian? I know you're immigration pro, and I'm not against immigration, but in moderation. Turn the tap on as the economy allows it. But when we got too many people coming in, and guys like me are suffering, is the racist button coming on against me? It better not be. I've talked about this before. So they know the do here, okay? And then you go and you get your stuff. And I'll tell you something. In Canada, we're very prosperous. A prosperous nation. The top 10% of all Canadians make above 80 grand. Okay? So if you're making above 80 grand as a person, not a family income, as a person, you're in the top 10%. Well, that's pretty good. The average top 10% salary is $134,000 a year. So that's a mix, right, of higher salaries and lower. But if you're above 80, you're in the top 10%, 80 grand a year. Well, if you're an insurance salesman or an ethical engineer or a business owner like me, you shouldn't be complaining it's too hard to go to work. We should not. Any of us. Or a stay-at-home mom who gets to raise her kids and take the appropriate time with family, what we all love, and that's why we go to work, to make our big money, is to have family and support them. Well, a stay-at-home mom has that liberty if her husband is making bigger money, and you shouldn't be complaining. You should be reporting to your kids, sitting down and talking with them at key times, and making sure they get the proper understanding and training and knowledge before they get disciplined, and not spazzing out or purporting a bad attitude at them. That's a good opportunity. These people are going to work every day, standing on their feet in a good customer service. No, this is not a good service, ethical economy, but they do well, and they're talking to you about hamburgers. Do you think that is ever boring? Do you think that's ever hard work to do? It might be. But I'm sitting here right beside the Runway Hair Salon, the hair design company, and I get my hair cut at Sir Lance's when I get my hair cut. And, you know, I do it on my own, but these girls in here would treat you well too. And Strathmore is pretty good. We're in a bubble in a lot of ways, okay? But when you come to A&W, the owner here, Archie, you'll see him back in there cooking once in a while himself. And I think any owner who does that is trying to tell you something. They want you here. You're a good customer. They want you to be part of their family kind of thing and have that concept. I've talked about that about Kyle over at Origin Malt. And, you know, like they say, we're a family business. We're family oriented. We care about people and their kids and stuff being, you know, coming here. And so anyhow, you get that same attitude here. That's why I come here. This is like part of my home to come here. And so anyways, you got opportunities, and you know, you just overcome the hard complaining of it all. And the point is, This is what I'm devoting my life to, and this is this, other than my belief in Jesus Christ, this is the single most important thing, how you treat people. And really, when someone tries to explain to you what it means to be a Christian, just to go back over to my Good Samaritan Life Pro side here for a second, if they can't boil it down to two things, they're telling you way too much information. It comes down to, what do you believe? You believe in Him, the one who honored you by dying for you, for all your unethical mistakes and sinful stuff and all that. And do you want that? Well, then believe in it. That's number one. Number two is, how did you treat people? How are you treating people? Are you treating them like with the answers to the questions on the judgment seat on the last day in the book of Matthew that Jesus explains to you, I suppose, about how to do and how to treat people? Well, people have different understandings of those things, so there's different levels of how people are treating people all on the way. And we progress as we grow in knowledge and wisdom, I suppose. We progress in the right direction, right? So the better you get at it, the better, of course, I suppose, you treat people. I even noticed that about some of my neighbors who I've had a hard time getting along with. In particular, somebody has been hard on everybody and mean, but you know what? Compared to a year ago or 6 years ago, people can keep progressing. I know people read my timeline. There's a lot of free information. So I don't go into that. Those are the two main things. But you know, there's something else about what these people do here, and I'm not going to tell you about it. It's called the bridge. And in my trademark teaching, but you got to come to the course to find out about that. I do not unveil, I've said, I've only ever given 93% of my total proprietary release names, no, and the knowledge, both. You got to come to the course if you want to get some of the last 7%, the bridge and all that, okay? That guy come up to me, I think that was Archie's brother. I've never met him, but I'll meet him today here. And so you come to my course, you learn about the other stuff that I don't talk about publicly, like the bridge. Now you may want, as I was suggesting to, proposing to Justin Trudeau, to buy something like this when you're done when you retire from politics, right, Justin? The average, and the beauty of a franchise is a system. You're not starting up a business like me or other profession people where you have to accommodate releasing all your own known stuff. You buy into somebody else's system. You know, they have a way, and a franchise would cost you. And most of these guys own a hub. Like, I don't know, Archie, I bet he owns like 6 of them. They usually own a handful. And I got a hub they travel around to. You don't see them they're not hands-on. You don't see them in every day. That's why they're business owners, and they got their own freedom and, you know, kind of ethical economy of how to do it, and way to do stuff. I mean, they're probably bogged down with a lot of work. Multi-business owners like me, where you own 14 companies and you're developing them all. Well, they have a number of things going on. Lots of these guys, they work from their home and they're private. And but average economy of a fast food joint is about probably $100,000 to $400,000 a year, and to buy in, and the franchising leading in that way, they lend you the economy of that and set you up usually, and lead into the financing, and then takes you about probably 3 to 5 years to pay it down through all the revenues. So it's a good way if you want to get into business. And some of you young guys need to hear that, because I know you're not all destined for the career profession, and you know, you're gonna be an entrepreneur, so you're gonna find a way. This is a good way. Lots of these guys are older now too, eh? The new leading to the younger millennials has to come up. So that's that. And it's healthy food. I mean, people equate fast food joints to not always that, but I mean, here you can get a good economical breakfast for about $10, I suppose. You get a mix of bacon and eggs and toast and hash browns, and you can get there's like vegetable on there, tomato and stuff. So you just go from there. It's good, and I like it. When I was talking about Jeff Bezos the other day, I was kind of joking, but what do you think? Should Canada sell privately some of our economy to a billionaire? He could pay down 10% of our debt, I suppose, and maybe we could sell him a province, like Saskatchewan or something. But what would the world look like? We're in new times. And if you privatize part of a country, would it be ethical? It would depend a lot on the person. What would happen? Would it turn into a tyrannical dictatorship like maybe China has been through the years, where you're not domesticated anymore? You're not a domestic. And why would we even want to do that? Well, $250 billion in debt is a lot of money. And if we go beyond this much before we finish up the fiscal year, there's a point of no return. Like, how do you pay it down? We got to take a long-term approach. And stay tuned for next week. I'll be talking about 6 strategies to pay down this ballooning, burgeoning, huge debt. I'm going to put forth my ideas. They can do whatever they want. But I'm a fifth generation long-term Canadian. I feel like I have a vested interest in wanting and caring about this economy to be part of us. So if I'm not going to give my suggestion, is Andrew Scheer going to stand up and give an opinion this time? No sidestepping. Yeah, you're conservative, you're Andrew Scheer, but give a strong opinion. Not just put the guys down for what they're doing wrong or right or whatever. Not just put them down, but make sure you're putting your good opinion forth. So that's that there. And 250 billion, if we go much beyond this, there's a point of no return. We'll never get it. But where we are now, potentially we're on the edge of not no return point, but we might even be there almost now, but whatever, we're pretty maxed. If we take a long-term approach, so anyway, that was why I made that joke about Jeff Bezos. But do you think we should privatize? It may not work, because what if a person went bad and then they own part of the country? But countries are like that, and laws are like that, and the more you change your laws into drudgery that make no sense, maybe we're there now. The extremes, hey? When I was a kid, abortion wasn't allowed, and then that law changed. There's been all kinds of stuff. I've talked about it in all my timeline, my views, assisted suicide, all that stuff. And I don't judge anybody. Everybody has to make their personal choice, but when you're in an economy that's all about community, the more you drift away from good old ancient values and principles that make sense and build business wisely and accommodate to the person, the personal life, you got a problem. So where are we at? And what's Justin going to do next? I don't know that we can hand out any more money. $250 billion, and I'm talking about the deficit, not the total debt. That's just this budget year. And we have never, from what I can ascertain and figure, they've always talked about the deficit being 1% of GDP. Well, GDP, what that is your gross domestic product, the total value of all your goods and services internally in Canada. They've talked about it never being more than 1%. Well, we're up to 6 to 7% right now. So what that tells me is, as I cipher out the math, our biggest deficits to date in history have only been about $42 billion. So we're at $252 billion one budget year. So we got to have some wise decisions in the next month. Where are we going to draw the line about paying out people? And are we portioning it out wisely when I can't even get my $2,000 a month for 4 months consecutively. You know, I don't know. What do you do? Like, you can keep fighting like me, vested in caring and concern, or maybe I should just go get a government job. None of you guys took any job pay loss here or cutbacks. None of you did. So we're paying out government salaries to the full max, whether you're working fully or not. The healthcare people sure have been in most cases. The revenue's not coming in from the taxes because business revenue's down. And we're paying out all these, relief benefits. So it's like a triple whammy on the market economy of our social justice issue here, which is making sure we stay afloat as a country and long term. Otherwise, why are we even formed? Maybe I'll just go out to the wilderness and get like a lot of people, instead of caring about the economy of prosperity and moving forward into the promised land of the future, I get a good government job where I work 4 hours a day and get paid for 8, like most of you, and get my kayak on the roof of my SUV and just be thinking about heading out to the wilderness and paddling for the rest of the day every day as I get my basic job done. Why do I care? Lots of entrepreneurs care, and I'll tell you something, when some people do like Donald Trump did and lay down for the greater good, part of your economy of justice of your business, and go run to be prime minister, maybe we'll do better. Justin, you're a sharp guy, but come on. The humanitarian side, and I've always said this since term 1, is not the only avenue here. We have to think strong business and economy ethics, because the humanitarian side must go on, but we're there now. And the environment, Elizabeth, is important, but the business holds it all up. So go from there and that. I got to go on, but I'm telling you, anybody that wants to be vested with me, customer service training is your basic underlying principle of the good values of everything. And it is the foundation that you build the business on. And if you don't have it and you don't care about it, and whoever joins me, I've offered this out to friends like Carson and Dory, I suppose, and other people I've talked to come join me, good friends of mine. And my family is allowed to, anybody that wants to join me as I build. But if that customer service element isn't there, don't bother even coming, because that is the basic foundation and essence. And unless you're willing and want it to learn and join that way, it's no good. It won't work. Otherwise, we don't want to be going into places and yelling at the manager over top, and the manager's yelling back, and you can't even have a quiet conversation that's calm. You're a servant. You're supposed to be serving, not dwelling in unruliness where the rest of your customers are frustrated and feel